Savannah Guthrie, the polished co-anchor of the Today Show, is a familiar face to millions of Americans. For over a decade, she's been our reliable source of news, with her engaging smile, sharp questions, and calm demeanor. She's navigated personal heartbreaks with grace, from her divorce to balancing motherhood and a high-profile career. But behind the scenes, there was a secret that even those closest to her, her family, friends, and colleagues, never knew about. A secret so carefully guarded that it's remained hidden for 3 decades. A secret tied to her past in Tucson, Arizona, one that could change everything we know about her. The mysterious call, a threat from the past. On February 10, 2026, as the investigation into the disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie, reached its 10th day, Savannah received a call that shattered her carefully constructed life. The call came from someone named Elena, a woman Savannah hadn't heard from in years, a name tied to a time Savannah thought was long buried. The details Elena shared about Savannah's past and the disappearance of Nancy left her in shock. Elena's voice revealed the buried truth Savannah had been hiding, something that connected her mother's current situation to her past actions. Savannah's composure finally cracked, and for the first time in days, the world saw her vulnerable. The secret past. A teenage rebellion. Savannah's life as a teenager in Tucson, Arizona, was far from the spotlight she would eventually claim. Raised by her mother after her father's sudden death when she was 16, Savannah was expected to be strong, independent, and flawless. Nancy Guthrie was a woman who believed in toughness, in keeping emotions under control, and in always meeting expectations. While Savannah excelled academically and athletically, she struggled with the weight of her mother's expectations. She craved freedom, a space where she could explore her identity without judgment. This led her to Elena Ramirez, a 19-year-old artist and activist who introduced her to a world beyond the confines of her mother's rigid love. Elena, the catalyst for change. Elena's underground youth group in Tucson offered a sanctuary for teens looking to break free from societal norms. Elena, unapologetically queer in a conservative town, was the perfect guide for a young Savannah trying to navigate her identity in secret. What started as a friendship soon blossomed into something more. Elena became Savannah's confidant, the one person who saw beyond the perfect daughter facade. In the late 80s, Savannah created a secret alter ego, Clark, an escape from the constraints of her mother's rules. Elena introduced her to underground art scenes, protests, and social activism, which gave Savannah a taste of freedom she had never experienced at home. The double life, hidden identity, and growing tension. As Savannah's life progressed, the double life she led grew more complex. While attending the University of Arizona and later law school, she would secretly return to Tucson to be with Elena. These visits weren't just family trips. They were escapes from the suffocating expectations of her mother. To Nancy, Savannah was focused on her studies and her burgeoning journalism career. But in reality, she was nurturing a second identity. She was Clark, the poet, the activist, the free spirit. While Nancy praised her daughter for her achievements, Savannah was quietly building a life her mother would never understand. Elena became more than just a lover. She was a key part of Savannah's personal growth, a source of strength in the face of years of emotional pressure. Career success and the growing divide. By the early 2000s, Savannah had made her way to NBC News, and with it came the fame and responsibility that comes with a high-profile career. The pressure to maintain the image of the perfect, polished journalist grew more intense. Elena, now living in a quiet Tucson suburb, was still part of Savannah's life, but their interactions became increasingly infrequent. Elena understood the stakes. Savannah's career was on the rise, and revealing her past could jeopardize everything. So, Savannah continued to compartmentalize her life, her public self, focused on career and family, and her private self, which still clung to the remnants of her rebellious youth. The investigative connection. Could the past be involved? As the family's emotional confrontation unfolded, the FBI was brought in to investigate Elena's role in the case. While Savannah insisted that Elena wasn't involved in the disappearance of Nancy, she couldn't deny the possibility that the events from their shared past might have resurfaced. Was Nancy's disappearance connected to a grudge from a past protest? Was it a case of mistaken identity? The investigation began to take unexpected turns, with Elena's name now part of the official inquiry. The family's search for answers had expanded beyond the current mystery to include a more complex web of relationships and secrets that had been hidden for decades. Elena's role, a desperate move to protect the truth. Elena, for her part, had always known the risk of their connection being exposed. As the years passed, she quietly moved on with her life, but the disappearance of Nancy brought everything back to the surface. Watching the news, she began to connect the dots and realized that the past they had shared could be the key to understanding the current crisis. The phone call she made to Savannah wasn't out of betrayal. It was a desperate attempt to protect the truth. Elena knew that if she didn't speak out now, the secret would die with her, and the connection between Nancy's disappearance and their shared history would remain hidden forever. She had no choice but to expose the past to protect the future. The final confrontation. A family in crisis. As the investigation into Nancy's disappearance continued, Savannah and her family were left to grapple with the emotional fallout of the truth coming to light. The years of hidden identities, secret relationships, and complicated family dynamics had reached a boiling point. Savannah had to face the reality of her actions, her double life, her betrayal of her family's trust, and the consequences of keeping such a massive secret for so long. As the FBI pursued new leads and Elena was questioned, Savannah was left to wonder if the life she had built could survive the weight of the truth. Was this the breaking point for her family? Or could they find a way to heal and move forward? A legacy of secrets, the cost of hiding the truth. Savannah Guthrie's double life, born from her mother's strict love and high expectations, had cost her dearly. It had taken years of hiding, of compartmentalizing, of living with a secret that she couldn't share with anyone. Elena had been the escape, the one person who knew the real Savannah, the one who had allowed her to be vulnerable, messy, and human. But in the end, the truth couldn't be kept hidden forever. Now, with the investigation into Nancy's disappearance expanding into a web of past activism, relationships, and personal choices, Savannah's life was no longer just about the polished image the world knew. It was about confronting the cost of keeping secrets and the price of living a double life. The road ahead, confronting the past and moving forward. As the investigation into Nancy's disappearance unfolded, Savannah found herself standing at a crossroads. The woman the world knew, the poised professional journalist, was no longer the whole story. She was a woman carrying decades of secrets, a woman forced to confront her past and the choices she had made. With the truth now exposed, Savannah had to decide whether she could rebuild the relationships that had been fractured by her double life. Would her family be able to forgive her, or would this revelation be the end of the road for them? The path ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Savannah's journey was far from over, and the mask she had worn for so long had finally been removed.